Welcome to the Build and Grow with Real Estate show. My name is Judah Hoover, and that guy right over there is the amazingly talented, hardworking, and perennially stressed out Josh Weidman. Josh, we're
Yeah,
using I was going to say we're using the different view. We went old school there to the zoomed in, though the zoomed in does let all our dear listeners see that I decided to shave
I know. That's big,
this
big
week.
news, man.
Big
You
news.
are, I
It's
haven't.
going to be so it's going to be its own bullet point on the Friday news roundup.
There we go. I haven't seen you look 12 years old for quite some time. Probably the first time I met you,
Right.
which is funny.
Right. So it was my COVID beard, and I shaved it off just to give everybody a chance to see what I looked like without it. And I got to
Yeah.
tell you, initial reviews are mixed. So I'm going to be determining what we should do this week. So this week we're doing deal or no deal. We are also going to be doing a side bet, a side conversation of shave or no shave, just
Okay.
to just to see what people think about that. So how was your weekend, Josh? What are you thinking?
I had a great weekend, man. It was a little bit crazy. My niece turned 2 over the
Mm-hmm.
weekend. We had a party. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
She is the cutest thing in the world. Yeah, that was the highlight of my weekend. After look with you got 4 kids running around.
Yeah.
3 in my household. Going back post COVID is so disappointing. I've had 6 months almost of
Yep.
no sickness in my house. And now everybody's getting sick. So, last week my daughter's sick. This weekend my wife was not feeling well. And this is not COVID related. It's just normal,
Right.
kids
When
putting their hands in their mouth and all
when
that.
did your kids go back to school, or did they yet, or what? When did that happen?
Another week.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
so mine start back on Tuesday. So they're going to
Tomorrow?
be they're going to be bringing back sicknesses and all kinds of stuff up from
Oh,
that.
you gotta love it.
Yay! So Josh, this week we are doing deal or no deal. One of the
Yep.
things that we thought is that people are not getting together, not meeting at meetups, and therefore not able to kind of swap deals and talk about deals. And there's a lot of that, like, kind of co-mingling and cross-pollination that happens before and after meetings. Real estate investors learning from other real estate investors about what is or isn't a deal. And so we figured that we would brush up on what that all looks like and what
So
what
this is
deals.
this is one of the things that I've seen recently. When you're in a hot market, there's so much competition for pre-construction deals because, there's so much demand at every level of, of the flip game, of the rentals, whatever. I've been seeing some numbers that are just not great. People coming in at, hey, what do you think of this project? And I'm just like, not so much. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I understand especially if you're a wholesaler, your job's to get the most money you can on a deal. I get it. But if you're flipping, you got to wait till the end of the game. Or if you're doing a buy and hold and you're trying to burr out of this thing, you got to make sure your numbers are tight. And that's what I want to look at. That's what we want to look at today. More importantly than that, on Thursday, we're going to invite some of our viewers on to pitch deals. We're going to analyze them live on the air. So if you got the cojones, if you feel like that you want to join us and pitch us on a deal, we'd love to evaluate it. Just, you can email myself or Judah. Just reach out to us and let's talk. I also want to welcome Taz back to the show. Taz has been forced back into the day job, and I miss seeing him every day. He's making up for it with the comments today, though.
Nice, that's excellent. Yeah, so one of the best ways that you can get better is by inviting criticism and opening yourself up to, is this a deal or isn't this a deal? And that's what we're going to be doing on Friday. On Thursday. So we're switching things up a little bit. We're going to have our guest on Wednesday this week. And then on Thursday, we're going to have a bunch of guests.
That's right.
So let's go. Let's jump into deal or no deal and
Deal or
how we
no deal.
you remember this show? This was
No.
this we're really dating ourselves here, Josh, because this show is probably about 20 years old now at this point, if not
No.
15 years old. I doubt the kids these days have no idea. My guess is you set it up. I'm going to look it up. My guess is that Deal or No Deal premiered in 2003. Go.
I have no idea. I have no idea. All right. So today we're going to look at a fix and flip property. All right?
Mhm.
And we're going to start by looking at, the basics of the project.
2005, 15-year-old reference you're making here, my friend.
This
In getting old fun.
Like 15 years is a blink of an eye. Come on.
All
right. So deal or no deal. Let's jump in here. This is a project that, hold on here. Okay. This is a project. I'm not going to share the address because this is actually a real loan.
Real live deal.
Yeah, this is a real live deal. We're changing some of the information to protect the innocent, the names and area and all that kind of stuff. But we'll just dive in, right? So we're going to start with the property details. This is a really nice property in Adams County. Okay. School district, Conewaga Valley School District, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house in a very nice community. 3,300 square feet, which is a really nice size.
Big house there. You know what I mean? We're talking more than just like your starter house. This is nicer than your bread and butter house.
That's right. In addition to that, this property is in excellent shape. Like, put it on the market, excellent shape.
Wow. So you have that there. Retail condition, retail ready
condition. Now, this property is unique in that it has an unfinished basement and the exterior of the property isn't great. It's fine. It's builder's quality, but there's no outdoor space. And in looking at the comps, which we're going to look at in a minute here, what I found was that like the best sales, the strongest sales came from properties that had a finished basement and had a nice outdoor space, a really nice patio enclosure, or, nice patio with, brick pavers or something like that. So this investor, is very, very qualified, really strong. He got this deal off market, direct from the seller, done over 20 projects in the last 3 years. Excellent credit, great capital position, right? What he's looking for is something to leverage his money. So he calls me, we talk about the deal. He tells me what he wants to do. He's buying the property for $320,000. Great deal. Renovation costs $30,000. Now, the first thing that I do when somebody calls me about a project, and Judah, I don't know about you, but like this is my first thing. First thing I do is I look at the comps.
Yep.
Okay. So these are the six properties that were either active, pending, or sold within the last year, within a quarter-mile radius from the house. It's in a suburban neighborhood. So you got six bullet points of activity here. Now, I'm pegging this at 430,000 exit value, but it very well could be a heck of a lot more than that. I mean, you have the one thing I want everybody to notice here is the square footage has a ton of weight in the sales price.
Right. So look here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a bunch of 4 and 5 bedroom houses, but they fluctuate in value because of how much they fluctuate in square footage. So right. I always joke around that people always say real estate is location, location, location. I think that it should be square footage, location, because there is more at play when it comes to square footage. Bedroom bathroom count is also important too. If you're going from like 2 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms, but at the 4 and 5 bedroom mark, what's going to separate those properties out is what the square footage is. So our property, what was our, it started out as 3,000 square feet, and the plan was to increase square footage or keep square footage the
So
same.
it's 3,300
3,300. Yeah, that makes
without
sense.
finished basement. So you're looking at about 850 square feet of finished basement space,
Right.
including an additional bathroom, right?
Right.
That is going to yield about 4,100 square feet of living space. That's a significantly that's a significant sized home.
Yes.
Now, I kind of tended towards the lower end of the larger properties, mainly because of this of the bedroom count. And you know what? You can add an extra bedroom maybe and put a wall up of it if the bedrooms are larger. But a 3-bedroom versus a 4-bedroom, it's going to change the type of family that's going to be moving into the house. And I'll bet you dollars to donuts this place has an office on the first floor that probably could be categorized as a 4th bedroom, and I'll bet some of these listings include that, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay, so any comments here? I'd love to see comments on estimated value, or better yet, is this a deal? Right, and we're going to look at exact numbers on what it's likely to cost and all that kind of stuff. But remember, we got a rehab budget of 30,000. We're picking this up at 320. So you're all in at 350, out at 430. Deal or no deal?
Right.
All right. So I'm gonna drop the slides for a second, and I'm gonna bring up another screen. Judah, I'm gonna need you to cover the conversation while I while I flip out my.
I think this isn't a deal, Taz says. So yeah, I mean, I
feel like he said that because I said it in such a condescending manner. But I mean, you got what? You got $80,000 to play with here,
right? $80,000 is not enough. It seems like that's a pretty big chunk of change.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so let's look at this here. Give me one more second.
I also love that our rehab budget is a full $30,000 for a property that's in ostensibly move-in condition, and we're not trying to say that we can do that for $5,000 or $7,000 or $10,000. The way I see a lot of investors come across my plate and say that they can do that deal for so much less
for peanuts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so here's the game plan with this thing. The borrower, they're going to get a hard money loan to purchase it. They're looking at, I'm going to increase the view here if I can. Let me see if I can do that. No, it's not quite working. We're going to get a hard money loan for a percentage of, there we go. That's better, for a percentage of the purchase. But he's buying it for 320. We got closing costs that are going to be close to $10,000. That's an expensive amount of closing costs on the purchase end, but it's not just including the 1% transfer tax. That's it.
Purchase price of 320. I mean, typically when people flip properties, they're trying to pick them up for under 100.
It's true.
So if you're buying a property at $100,000 and you're going in, closing costs are $3,000, that would make sense. So when you triple the purchase price, there's some that are fixed costs, but a lot of those fees are computed by value or the amount that you're borrowing or whatever else. And so as the deal gets bigger, the costs get bigger too. That makes sense to me.
There we go. All right, so here's what's broken out here. You got your builder's risk insurance policies. This is good because you're doing construction and it's vacant. If you get a landlord policy and something goes wrong, you're going to be in a heck of a mess. So, spend a little extra money, get your builder's risk policy. You got title insurance. This is a little bit high, but it's not a lot high. And then transfer tax, 1%. You got some title fees thrown in there and some miscellaneous costs. So you're at just over $10,000. Financing here, it's about $11,000. That includes attorney's fees. It includes origination costs, inspection fees, all that kind of stuff. All right, so now we have a construction budget. This is where things get pretty interesting. If you notice here, our original budget was $30,000, and somehow we're almost at 40.
Right. Well, what happened?
Exactly. Let's take a look at this. If we break this out, here's what's interesting. I included a project management fee here of $2,500
Right.
because look, if I'm doing this project, I don't want to have to sit there and crack the whip and and be all over somebody to get this thing done. I want somebody else to do that for me. um, Permits, I went a little high here, $1,000. Okay, so right there, you can probably take out, there's $3,500 that's throwaway money if you really want to manage this yourself. And we get a lot closer to that $30,000 number. But as we go down here, you see there's a lot of stuff that's not even included. We're not doing a roof, no windows, siding, no demo or clean out, framing. So we're gonna have to frame out the basement,
Right.
850 square feet. We're gonna put in some rough plumbing. Remember, so we're gonna add a half bath. We got to rough plumb the base. That new bathroom. We're gonna have to do some electrical. So we throw that in there. Um, I'm gonna be putting in about 100 sheets of drywall, right? 850 square feet of carpet and some tile in the bathroom. We go down here, couple doors and some trim. We got some paint, and our finished plumbing in the bathroom. Now, this is where things get a little bit aggressive, maybe. So $5,000 in landscaping, that's going to be for that back patio. Brick pavers,
Right.
$1,000. That's probably pretty realistic. It might even be a little light, but let's use 5,000 as a number. Now we go and we got trash removal. I got $1,000 for trash removal, probably pretty fair. And then 1,000, or what do I have here?
I always find
16.
that people budget way too little for trash removal. And the
Oh my.
fact that there's no demo on this project and the fact that there is no trash removal, $1,000 for trash removal is probably about right.
Yeah.
Because it always seems like there's more trash removal than what you think there's going to be or should be or could
And
be.
it just keeps going, right?
Right.
Like you think
Right.
the project's done and then you fill up another dumpster with crap. It's nuts. All right. So the last thing that I have here is punch list for $5,000. This
Right.
is to cover the things in the house that will show up. Like even though this house is retail ready,
Right.
when you walk through this place, there's going to be a little bit here, a little something there.
Well, you're gonna have to go in the second floor master bath and replace a bathroom faucet that you
Right.
weren't intending to replace. You're not doing anything on the second floor. You're not doing anything in that bathroom, but it's a little bit of a leaky faucet. You know what I mean? And so it just needs to be taken care of. You know what I mean?
And those,
For whatever reason, one of the tubs just has the slowest drain ever, and you've got to call in a plumber and snake it, and who knows why that tub was just draining really super slow.
exactly.
So there's just going to be stuff that comes up that you need to make a property look perfect. And
That's
when even though you're not doing a bunch of stuff to this property, you want to set aside enough money to make the property in near perfect shape, and that's going to be $200 over here, $300 over there, and it adds up. You know what I mean? Here's how
right.
here's how quick those little things add up. I was looking over my bank account the other day, and I was like, "Geez, there's $1,000 less in here than what I thought there should be." And I like just scrolled back through the last 2 weeks, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I did spend $45 on that. No, that's right, I did spend $38 on that. No, yeah, that's right, I did spend $18 on that." And like all those little things add up to an extra $500 or $1,000 a month. Well, guess what? The same thing happens when you're rehabbing a property. All these little things add up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right. So we come back over here and we've got, all right, this comes out to just under 40,000, right? But the 40,000 also includes $3,500 in contingency
Right.
because those pavers end up costing us 7,000, and the drywall, instead of being whatever it was, it's an extra $1,000 or whatever. But at the end of the day, this $39,000 number is right on. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to scroll down here. We went back here. We've got our $341,000 purchase price, all
Right.
in, 100,000 to close. Okay. We come back over here. We got $11,000 in holding costs. Now the taxes here are $16.99 a day. This is an area that most people don't even think about. Oh,
Your
it's going to
per
take
diem costs. Your per diem costs.
finance fees, right? If you're financing most of this project, you're talking about a large number that you're financing. It's not our 4% mortgage, right?
Right.
This is a hard money loan. So you've got $100 a day. So when your drywall team says it's going to take 6 days instead of 5 days, and they're halfway done, it's like, okay, well, just take $100 off your bill, right?
Right.
This is real money that's going to cost you. Now, all right, the project's finally done. We've got our closing costs here, realtor fees, transfer taxes, title fees. It's going to cost $30,000 to sell this property. Again, big numbers, but our total project costs come in at $422,000. If all this plays out right. Now, there's a lot of fudge room there. There's a
Right.
lot.
So maybe your net profit there is $7,000, and we also bumped some things up there by another $3 or $5 or $7,000 here or there. Maybe all the stars align, and you make $10,000 or $15,000 on this project.
Right.
I mean, the problem is you're doing a damn near $500,000 deal, a $430,000 deal to maybe make $15,000. That's a lot of risk. That's a lot of sleepless nights. That's a lot of stress that you're taking on yourself just to make $10,000 to maybe $15,000. I see people do deals like this all the time, and all they looked at was, oh, I'm going to make $80,000. Great, let's do this deal. And then all the holding costs and then all the contingencies catch up to them, and they break even or lose money, or they don't really pay for their time. I mean, $7,000 for a summer's worth of work, that's what you're talking about here. So you get this thing bought and staged and worked and everything like that. You're talking about a whole lot of work here to maybe make $10,000.
Right. And now we are talking about 3 months worth of work. It's a small project.
Right.
And you could probably get in and out of this. I think that, the timeline here is to be out of the project. So you're talking about a month and a half of renovation costs, back on the market mid-October, out of it before December.
Right.
And I think it's probably pretty realistic on this timeline. So, annually, you're talking about 28% interest, 28% return on your money, which is pretty darn good if you have 5 or 6 of these rolled up behind this one.
Right.
So you're right, Judah. There's a lot of risk there for the reward. There's a lot of cash out of pocket for the $7,000 on $100,000. Can you spend that somewhere else a little bit better? Probably. Is it in real estate? I don't know. Right this moment, I don't know. But on this one, I think this would be this could be a pass. That's my 2 cents.
This isn't an awful deal. This isn't a heck no, run away. This is if you're doing volume and you are sure that you know how to keep your costs down and things like that. So what's frustrating about it is newbies see seasoned pros doing deals like this all day, every day. And then they're like, geez, Josh is doing that deal, but Judah said I shouldn't do it, and looks like Josh is making out okay on it. Well, a couple of things make this a totally different deal. Totally, a couple different things. Now, you should always use hard money because you should always be protecting your money. Let's say you're only going to Josh for half the hard money instead of all the hard money. Let's say you're using some private financing or your own money instead of doing any hard money at all whatsoever. Let's say that you know how to keep your rehab costs really tight and in line, and this isn't a $40,000 rehab. It is closer to that $35,000 to $30,000 rehab. So when all those things add up, you're not talking about a $7,000 profit on this. You're talking about a $20,000, $25,000 profit on this, and that really can make all the difference.
Well, and Judah, the other thing that you pointed out, and I didn't even think of about this, is like a newer investor doing this deal is probably not going to make $7,000 because there's a lot of holes. There's going to be some downtime finding the contractor, running around and sitting at the property, and that $2,500 in project management is going to they're going to absorb that and say, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. And all of a sudden it ends up costing them another $5,000. There's things that if you're new, you don't even know what you don't know, as opposed to if you've done this 100 times, you've done this at least 20 or 30 times, you've got your guys lined up, you've got your time, you know where to go to get material a little bit less expensive. And there's nothing wrong with being a newbie, but
yeah, we all start someplace. It's just that when you start out, I would rather somebody, wait a month or 2 or 6 months, or work aggressively and go through 100 deals to find that one that makes sense.
Right.
Where you don't have to squeeze the numbers and you don't have to try so hard. Here's the other thing. Remember where this all started, Josh? What's the first thing that we did on this? Is we evaluated where comps were, right? Now, you're a hard money lender and you've been a rehabber yourself. I'm a realtor and I've got access to the MLS and I've rehabbed a whole bunch of properties myself and things like that. But imagine a newbie who is off, and let's say those comps are a little bit different, and they only thought that it was going to be worth 430, and it didn't sell for 430. It sold for 410 or 420. You know what I mean? Like this is assuming we sell this thing at 430. What if they were off on that?
Right.
Yeah. Boom.
Right. Well, and the other thing is, look, there's an argument in this neighborhood that this could be worth 465. But if Judah and I both rehab this same property, the exact same one, in the exact same market, it's going to sell for different prices. Because we're going to choose different finishes. We're going to choose a little bit this or that. We're going to have different quality contracts.
Choose different realtors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're gonna write it up a little bit different. The luck of the draw also comes into play here. And you're right, Josh. But here's the thing that I think it's important to remember, and it's good that we're winding down the show because this is a good point to wrap up on. Is there's a difference between investing and speculating.
That's right.
And maybe, hey, I kind of sort of maybe sell it for 460 and then put $32,000 in my back pocket. If you didn't see, dear listeners, if you sell this thing for 46,000, which doesn't seem like a whole lot more, but it really is amazing what the difference there can be. Investing is when you say, I know a property is worth $100,000 and I know I can put this into it. And I know if I buy it for this is what I'm going to make. That's a sound investment decision. Speculating is when you say, you know what, I think real estate values are going to go up and I think that therefore I can pay a little bit more and blah, 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 blah. Investing is what is it going to rent for today? Or what is it going to sell for, all fixed up in a beautiful shape today? Speculating is when you hope for appreciation, be it where you hope for appreciation on the value of the property or you hope for appreciation on the rental amount of the property. Do not speculate. You can make a lot of money speculating, but you can also lose a lot of money speculating. And there's a lot of people right now who are speculating who don't even know that they're speculating because it's the appreciation that the market is having right now that people are seeing and is actually saving them from bad deals.
That's right.
So if you have a deal or you've recently done a deal and you want to have somebody look at it to say, hey, I already knew this was a deal and I did it, but did I make the right decision or not? Or, hey, I didn't do this deal. What are some ways that I could have saved this deal or some ways that the numbers could have gone better? We spent about 15, 20 minutes diving deep into this deal here today. The rest of this week, we're going to be looking to spend just, 5 to 10 minutes per deal looking at them and diving deep. But we need your help for that, dear listeners. So reach out to us and tell us about deals that you have that are on your plate right now or that you've recently done or decided not to do, whatever the case may be. Let's get them analyzed and let's get you some valuable feedback on them and get everybody else valuable feedback out there too.
Right. Let's get you on the show.
Right.
All right. Tomorrow we'll be right back here at noon. We're going to jump into some cash flow analysis with a minor twist. We're going to look at a BRRRR type property and a straight like turnkey type rental where you're just buying it with a tenant in place. And so you can see two different aspects of the same category of investment, right?
Right.
Awesome. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what you saw today, don't forget to like and share. Until tomorrow, have a fantastic day. See you,
See everybody.